It's game over for Solana. FTX selling off their massive Solana position. There's nothing but bearish downside to expect from here on in, and we will be seeing new lows at some point this year. Or at least that's the narrative that I'm hearing across the wider crypto community. In this video, I'm going to address all of that FUD, as well as talk about the latest Solana news and statistics that has me feeling like this is something that we shouldn't be so worried about. Hit the like button and let's get into today's video. Now guys, at the end of last year, you're not aware, FTX, the world's second largest crypto exchange, collapsed under the leadership of Sam Bankman-Fried, who held a massive amount of Solana. This meant that Solana plunged all the way down to being worth around $8, and we will look at the Solana charts slightly later on in this video. That was a very bearish, as you can imagine, for Solana. And this meant that Solana had a pretty torrid year, although into the early part of this year, we saw Solana having a good bit of a recovery. However, those woes are now starting to show their head again. So FTX is now preparing to liquidate $3.4 billion in cryptocurrency, of which Solana makes up a very large portion of that. Now, what we want to look at first of all is the market cap over here of Solana, currently sat at $7.3 billion, of which $3 billion is going to get liquidated in FTX, but not $3 billion of Solana. FTX holds a number of different assets. It does hold a large portion of Solana for sure, and this has caused a lot of worry across the wider crypto market. The first thing I want to address when we talk about the concept of liquidating crypto. At the moment, FTX is basically requesting to be able to offload this crypto, of which they're probably going to get approved. This will mean that they're able to offload around $200 million at a maximum stretch per week. This is not all in Solana tokens, and even if it was, that would be around 2.7% of the overall Solana market cap. Now, obviously, that's not bullish if it was just in Solana that they were offloading, but I want you to also consider something else. FTX is going to be offloading its crypto. When you want to think about who is going to be buying that crypto, it doesn't necessarily that crypto is offloaded directly back onto exchanges, but it could mean that potentially it's offloaded to large-scale investors. If you know who Michael Saylor is and you've been watching crypto videos for a while, you'll know that he often buys big portions of Bitcoin. Notice how the Bitcoin price stays steady while big money like that is accumulating, because they're accumulating and big money is trying to accumulate away from market conditions. And in my opinion, this is how I think a lot of the Solana position will be liquidated from FTX. It will be bought up in private sales. That's very important because it means that it won't be arriving necessarily back onto crypto exchanges. So why then is the Solana price currently dumping around 6%? Crypto guys, 6%, not really that much. If you go and look at the wider crypto market, similar falls are happening across the markets right now. 6% is a reasonable move, of course. And this fear, uncertainty and doubt, also known as FUD, is basically causing a bit of a sell-off amongst the retail investors. You and me make up the retail investors. It's not necessarily big money in crypto that's selling off right now. Now, if you're subscribed to my channel, which you absolutely should be, you'll understand that I spend a lot of time identifying the difference between news that actually has an impact on the price and news that is just there to shake people in order to be able to provide liquidity to the whales. And you should be subscribed, guys, because I'm literally about to hit 40,000 subscribers, and I'll be giving away $200 when that happens on this channel to anyone who's hit the like button, subscribed, and left a comment down below on this video of a coin that they want to receive $200 worth. Hopefully, that will be Solana. Now, what I want to think about is fundamentally, is Solana still the same coin, still the same investment that it was before? Well, arguably, I think it is, and it perhaps is even better than it was earlier on in its life cycle. Vitalik Buterin has already said something very important over on Twitter. Bear in mind, he's the father of Ethereum and basically the main competitor, theoretically, to Solana. He says that there's smart people who have told him that has a very smart developer community, and after the likes of FTX, etc. have been washed out, there's a very bright future for this chain. He says this information comes from other people rather than himself for probably political reasons, but you know, he has a very good understanding of what Solana is doing and understands the strengths of Solana. You've got other people in the space who are extremely bullish on Solana. Former Goldman Sachs executive Raoul Pal, who has his own YouTube channel called Real Vision, said that he's really interested in Solana because the team is exceptional and what they're doing is building a consumer chain. Now, that's a very important thing. Now, the consumer chain is a very important thing. Last week, we saw all that news where Solana had partnered with Shopify. Shopify makes up for 10% of online sales across the US in terms of e-commerce. Bearing in mind, Amazon is also operating in that space. That's extremely impressive. And this could potentially move Solana towards working and cooperating with Amazon for its digital payment solutions. Who knows what bright future that holds there. Another huge use case for Solana is that of the NFT market. Back in June, we saw Solana flipping Ethereum for the very first time in terms of volumes. Now, if you were involved in the last bull market, at the end of that, you were probably trying to buy pictures of apes and stuff for $400 or $500 or maybe even $100,000 or more. And that's what drove Ethereum to make insane new highs when all those sort of transaction fees drained the supply of Ethereum. Could we see a very similar thing happening to Solana? While the NFT marketplace right now is a bit quiet, we will see another NFT boom in the future. And not just will we see a boom from profile pictures like apes and stuff, but I think the way NFTs are going forward into use cases in GameFi and stuff, Solana will be the blockchain of choice for that. Ultimately, Solana still remains extremely bullish. In my opinion, total value locked currently sat at $312 million as of last week, and that is continuing to grow all the time. So you're like, which way do we turn? The price of Solana right now is very closely linked to what's going on in Bitcoin, and I want to show you this price model. There is a lot of people who are very negative towards crypto right now and saying that crypto is going to push towards the downside. There's a lot of people who are very positive, and I'm not saying that anyone is right. I have my opinion, they have their opinions, everyone has equal opportunity to express their feelings towards it. My personal feeling is, given the sentiment of the market, to be more bullish than bearish. Bitcoin currently sat on this N28CT price model in this area under the blue line, and we're currently in the green year, the accumulation year. This is the accumulation year, and then into year 4 and beyond, you start into the new all-time high preparation. Then you get a blow off top. According to this price chart, that will be coming somewhere between 2025 and 2026. And you can see multiple times it's been successful in calling these cycles. Now you will see this dip here, which was the COVID crash. Now the whole world right now is preparing for a recession, a massive face melting drop in all of the whole market. Typically, this negative sentiment is used to shake people out of markets. So, in my opinion, that's why I remain bullish, because everyone is starting to flip bearish and to be doing the opposite of what everyone else is doing. In my opinion, obviously we could see new lows. I'm not saying that you can't, but let's get into it, guys. Bitcoin right now, bearing in mind Bitcoin dictates the market. We will look at Solana after this, so just be patient, please. We can see it is still in an uptrend because we got lower, we got higher lows, and we still haven't put in a lower low here and high highs. Okay. So you would anticipate that Bitcoin would continue further towards the upside. Now, many people shouting for a pullback, but in my opinion, we are still just retesting this area of interest here, which was previous inverse head and shoulders pattern here. We've now come up, and you would say that this is a double top, which potentially would happen like that and can still happen like that. But this area you can see of interest is very important. Bitcoin's closes have been within $400 of each other for the last 4 weeks, which hasn't really happened for years and years, which the last time it happened was somewhere around here, back in June of 2020, and you can see what happened after that. Now, I'm not saying that we're going to run into a massive bull run like that, but the chart is indicating to me to remain more bullish rather than bearish. Now, there is a lot of negative sentiment, and we could see a little bit of a dip, but I do believe that if we see some form of a dip, something like this is going to happen, and we are going to see some kind of dip towards the downside, soak up the liquidity and push. If that happens, the stuff that's going on with Solana really isn't that important. Could have a little bit of a dusting of importance, but really, I think that you are betting right now on all the other stuff that's going on in Solana, rather than worrying about a little bit of an offload coming from FTX, because it's not going to happen in one fell swoop. They're going to be delivering crypto back onto the market. So there's no benefit for FTX for dumping too heavily any crypto into the market, because it will put more strain on FTX itself. FTX wants the market to increase in value because then its assets are worth more and it's easier for them to repay their investors, and overall things are good for FTX. Okay, so be very cautious of getting too swallowed into this news. What is going on with the Solana chart? Well, let's go into it. Well, this is the weekly chart on Solana, and I've said in previous videos, like this one I made about Gala on Saturday, is to have a zoom out. Look at where we are in terms of the wider picture, because sometimes it can be a bit daunting. We look at our 6% down or 10% down on a daily basis. What is going on in the ecosystem of Solana tells us that in the next year or 2 years, the price of Solana is going to be worth far more than it is right now. It's going to be going back, in my opinion, to all-time highs and beyond. I'll show you my price predictions slightly later. So from current levels to all-time highs, you're looking at 14x, which is pretty good. Bearing in mind that, worst case scenario, I think we could be pushing back down to new lows. If Bitcoin has a dump for whatever reason, then, you could be looking at $8. 50% sat in the red for a little bit, or potentially back 14x and beyond. What I'm looking at right now in the Solana price is a further decline. You can see that we have dropped through that buy zone. So let's get into the daily and work out where the next buy zone can be. Now, I like to identify buy zones. And if we break through a buy zone without having a significant bounce, then we're going to continue further to the next one. The next buy zone exists here, somewhere between $15.7 and $16. That doesn't mean that we can't bounce here, because actually, if you look at this sideways action that's happening in here, you will see that the bottom of this wick, which is this candle here, sits around $17.8. Now, if we see a bounce here, then we could potentially re-challenge this level here, and you might see something like this happen. But I personally am looking if we do get the opportunity to get involved here. Now, what I will be doing, I'm not recommending it because it would be financial advice. What I will be doing is I will put in a limit buy order for Solana in this area. What is a limit buy order? Well, if the price, while I'm sleeping, suddenly does this and wicks into this area, it will fill my order and it will be able to continue if the price then returns. Why is that important? Well, look at this. Look at this that happened before, okay? This wick down here. If you had any limit buy orders in here, then you might have caught the bottom of that wick, and then you could have woken up and you would have been up 19% rather than having to buy in higher up. Now, 19% makes a lot of difference because here you can see that move is 156%, whereas if you bought on the very tip of that dip, you would be 211%. Makes a big difference if you're able to get in cheaper, but ultimately I'm looking to DCA in. As you know, if you've been subscribed, I've been DCAing in heavily to Solana. Solana remains my biggest bag and will continue to remain my biggest bag because I'm so bullish on the ecosystem. And because of the original FTX collapse, Solana is heavily undervalued, in my opinion, compared to where it should be in the crypto ecosystem. So for those who ask me where I feel Solana is going in the future, at the bottom, we've got Ethereum, and this is Solana. Look at this bull market run here. You can see that we have this first accumulation zone. We then bounce and put in a new high, and we come back down. We put in this final shoulder, and then we roll into a bear market. This was Ethereum back in 2017. It came up. It had that first little dip, rally into a new high, comes back down, puts in the shoulder, and then continues into a bear market. Following that, Solana did 258% from this high into the next high. If Solana puts in a similar run, then you're going to see it reaching $915. Now, that's obviously highly speculative, but I'm pretty confident that we can see that happening in Solana. And from current levels, that's a 63x in Solana. And every day it dips, that opportunity gets even better. And you're looking at maybe having a risk of potential downside action. If, like Benjamin Cowan and all those other bears are right, then, you might get better opportunity to buy into Solana. But who knows, guys? At any point, we could see a big bounce and you may never see these prices again. So that's what I am betting on, because I'm happy to sit in the red on coins that I know have a very, very bright future, because I'm happy to risk having a red portfolio that's 50% down when I have the opportunity to see a 63x return. Whereas all those other bears and stuff like that eventually may have the chance of being right. But if they're wrong, they won't get exposure and they'll be FOMOing into all of these cryptos later on, along with all of their community. So it's up to you guys. Obviously, go and do your own research and understand exactly whether or not you want to be involved in these ecosystems. Now, for those of you who are living in the US and other places around the world where it might be difficult or expensive to trade crypto because you have to use Coinbase, well, I've got a link down below for MEXC, and I recommend using this because it's a non-KYC exchange. And the fees you can see are 0% on spot as well as futures, having only a 0.01 taker fee. So if you want to use MEXC, guys, use the link down below in the description. You can find a ton of different cryptocurrencies that you want to trade there. Solana for sure is on this platform. And as well as that, because it's non-KYC, use a NordVPN link down below, and you will be able to access this crypto exchange as if you are from whatever country in the world, which is very good because now the government and whatever doesn't know what crypto you're exchanging, doesn't know how much you're trading or anything like that, which could be very useful if you can think about why it might be useful, but I'm not going to tell you exactly why it is. And if you use that link down below, guys, you'll get NordVPN 4 months absolutely free, first 30-day money-back guarantee, and it's something you should be using while trading crypto anyway, because if you're not connected to a VPN, you can see that you are unprotected, which is extremely important while trading crypto. So make the most of this deal, guys. Link down below in the description. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, hit the like button. Remember to enter the competition, and I will see you very soon in the next video. Bye-bye.